Assalamualaikum and peace be upon you. Happy end of May, everyone. Lunar Legend is one of those games where now that I'm older, I realize it's actually pretty boring, but it still has a really big place in my heart. A long time ago, this was the very first game I played for a handheld. It was a gift from my mom, God bless her soul. My birth mom, and I guess that's why, even after all these years, I still enjoy this game a lot. Even though, like I said, the gameplay is well, it didn't age too well. Mostly because I'm so done with random encounters. This goes for any game in general, whether it's old Pokemon or old Final Fantasy games. I don't have the patience like I did when I was 4 or 5 years old to stop and fight every single enemy. I prefer encounters like Bug Fables or Paper Mario where I can avoid them if I want or engage them. But that's besides the point. I'm approaching the sunset of my teenage years, and I would just like to appreciate this game. It's one of those games that, it's not the most complex thing ever, but it's just so important to me because my mom loved it, God bless her soul. Right? She would make voices, she would watch me play. Back then, like when my mom's still around, God bless her soul, we were only allowed to play for 30 minutes a day. But if I did my puppy eyes and went to my dad, I couldn't get an extra hour. Oh, that made her so mad. But anyway, she was a big anime and video game dork. Surprise, surprise. If my mom wasn't listening to the Quran or reciting it in the house, she was actually the one that would go and rent anime and cartoons with my older sister. In fact, she's probably the reason I've been exposed to so much anime, more so than anyone else in my family, because she was the one who would personally pick out which ones to watch, like Fruit Basket, or Yu Yu Hakusho, or Inuyasha, or Mew Mew Power. She was the ones who loved that kind of stuff. Needless to say, she's the one who put out Lunar Legend because guess what? It looks a lot like anime. And sure enough, it really does feel better suited to be a show than a video game. And without further ado, let's appreciate the title screen, shall we? I'm using someone else's save file, so I don't have everything unlocked, but I'm pretty sure one of the question marks was music. Don't know what the other one is though. Something I enjoyed about the earlier days of gaming was that because there were so much hardware limitations, you couldn't have live action cutscenes most of the time. So they would just have these like little slides of fully detailed anime-esque art, which I always loved. Personally, when I was really small, I would just look at these stuff. And when I was trying to practice how to draw, I would just try my best to copy what they were doing. Of course, it looked horrible, but it didn't stop me. Now that I'm older, though, I know that my art is not meant to be complex. It's meant to be just relaxing. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a trade option in the card section of Lunar Legend. Like, you would take your link cables and connect to another GBA to trade these quote-unquote cards. Look, I love this game, but there's no way I'm ever gonna sit down and trade one of these things with someone else. Heck, I've never even met someone else who's played this game besides my older brother. In fact, no one knows about it. Maybe you guys are out there, but as far as I can tell, the only Lunar Legend fans I know of is me, my brother, and a couple of cosplayers on Instagram. Like I said earlier, this is someone else's save file. I wonder how they're doing all these years later. I wish every time I had someone else's save file or book or any inheritance from other people, I could see their memories. That would be sweet. And with that, we're coming to an end of this episode of Title Screen Appreciation. Although it was more like an appreciation of my mom, God bless her soul. I love my new mom, of course, but my birth mom will always be special to me. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Masalama, and see you next time. Oh, and do I think you should play Lunar Legend GBA? If you have the time, yeah.
Putting aside the whole random encounter thing, if you have some extra time in your life, I suggest you give it a shot. The characters are nice and pleasant, the sprites are pretty well done, and the story is charming, if a bit simple and linear. But that's all we need sometimes. Something that's nice and pleasant, and nothing more. Masalama, and God bless.